Clients often say that we are always reliable to adapt to the most important things that a client is facing. So in a lot of sort of more traditional firms, there's sort of a rigidity around what you work on, the scope of what you work on, and it's hard to change and there's not flexibility. The inherent flexibility in how we adapt to the highest priorities is one of the most common things I hear from clients. The other piece I would say, we bring a level of neutrality, and so we look at things objectively and really help to facilitate common understanding. And so I think between having adaptability and flexibility to focus and shift to work on the most important things for clients is very much valued, and I hear it all the time. And also that sort of element of neutrality and not being biased toward the decision or outcome.
Sometimes to a leader, it can come down to the bottom line. And when you're trying to achieve a certain revenue goal, you might be missing signals from the resources that you have on your team that are fulfilling these deliverables. And you might be missing that they are either overworked, or they feel like they're being pulled in too many directions, or they don't have a clear path for their direction, so they feel a little discombobulated. And I think sometimes when that happens and there's that disconnect between the leader focusing more on revenue and not looking at the full story of what's happening around them, that can sometimes lead to a collapse on that specific engagement.
I was all about living inside a box. It had to be, if it didn't fit in that box, it was definitely, it was wrong in my mind. And then as I started moving forward in my career and I would get some people who would challenge that concept, it did make me stop at a certain point in my career and say, wait, what is the why behind this? Is there a good enough reason for the why? Or is it just a rule that someone arbitrarily made up that we all have to follow for no reason?
When we can bring teams together and we can make sure that everybody has a voice, that everybody is heard. Now that doesn't always mean consensus, but it means that I've been heard and I don't have to have my way, but I feel heard and I feel valued. And in that of itself really does allow people to walk away from a conversation feeling secure and feeling safe, even if maybe they didn't get the outcome that they wanted.
When I see misalignment in a project, some of the first things that I look at to do are creating one-on-one intimate conversations with many people that are involved. You do not want to wait until you get into a room with everyone together and try to hash it out. It's super important to be able to create that intimate trust environment to understand each person's perspective, the challenges, what they're looking to get out of it. I think the most unique aspects of the UL culture, in addition to collaboration and developing our talent, giving people opportunities, is the curious nature of unleashing leaders. And so we bring that element of curiosity into engagements. Rather than telling clients what to do and how to do it, we pose them in a more curious way and say, hey, did you think about this? Or I see this is going on. Have you considered this? Really being curious to understand the underlying challenges, I think, is how we help clients not only uncover challenges and opportunities, but actually be part of that discovery.
We show up and we always give the client options. So we never directly tell them what to do. We just can stand on the outside and can be an objective observer and say, this is what we see and this is how we feel we could help. And these are the different ways. And then we collaborate with the client and we engage with them and we allow them the freedom to choose the direction they want to go. We always are utilizing our core values because it's innate within all of us And that's why we're part of Unleashing Leaders.
So although there are still some rules that really are put in place and we do need to follow them, I have found that some leniency and some empathy goes a long ways with some of the other rules that might be able to bend a little bit more than just being super, super strict. And once you find that balance, it does make working with compliance and human beings as individuals much more efficient.